Hey guys, this is a quick run through of the presentation, and I will also send you guys another one of the stable diffusion tutorial separately, so it'll be just small snippets that are easy to recall and recollect when you're going through all of the steps. So welcome to Renegade Approaches to AI, and we just start with a quick understanding of what text to image is. It's just basically using text to generate images through AI. Think of it almost exactly like how you would say describe to an artist that this is the kind of picture I want or painting I want, and the artist tries to build it themselves. How they build it based on their own knowledge, based on their own experiences, and the same way, sort of based on their own training. So that's what exactly what the AI tries to do as well. It uses its own training and its own knowledge and its own understanding of what the prompt means, which is the text, and what to expect from it. So the way I've been using it has been a little bit different. I've been trying to see, rather than how perfect my images can be, but to just understand the peripheries of the data sets themselves. What would happen if I say I want this, but instead it gives me something else. So the experiment started pretty much with subject that I felt close to. So looking at birthing, mothering, different kinds of ideas of what it could mean for the AI to imagine what a mother is. Here on the left you see something which is more to specific to um, uh, specific to mothering, birthing in a hospital, or ideas of how it would imagine a 3D rendering of a baby, both in vitro and outside. And then this one where you look at a tired mom in a room, and then it changes to a tired mom on a wasteland, garbage wasteland. And I didn't specify, but when the prompt said wasteland, the race of the mother also changed. So these are some of the things that I've been looking at, how AI has its own biases and what those biases mean. This is another work of mine which is around the idea of moms. Again, you can look at it in the presentation. I won't go through this. Just a quick background on what AI apps are available, and just an idea of like what is happening around the world and some examples. There is of course the very famous one which won the award recently at the Colorado State Fair, and it really got the world a buzz with whatever is happening. So this is there come some links in the slide. You can have a look at them as well. How the artist, or the AI artist in this case, specifies that it's not just me putting in a sentence and just submitting something. It's like about 80 hours of work going through images, thousands of images, and figuring the one that they preferred the most, and all of that. So it's very interesting, perhaps worth looking at as well. Of course, it will have its own kind of criticisms and uh, and uh, and points that are sort of not positive in that way. This is the work of a very wonderful artist called Ari Meliciano, who's been looking at her own portrait here on the left and trying to like add different female faces on it and see where it what happens. And you can see there's a fair amount of like idea that the AI has about race, skin color, and based on the particular prompt, you can see even the skin color changes quite a bit. Another artist, I think Indian, at least name is, and who's looking at this very nice like 70s, 80s, 90s kind of retro aesthetic with these ideas of robots, like almost like Indian Jetson in some ways, but also some very futuristic kind of images as well. And an older one from a very wonderful artist called Emily Martinez, looking at who's looking and collecting a very amazing database of queer corpuses to use for AI. And this is some of the work that she's been doing. It is with an older technology called VQGAN. This is not made with DALL-E or Midjourney or all the new words that we know, but you can still see that when you speak of queerness, there's this kind of bias which is around the idea of bodies, slickness, all of those kind of words seem to surface quite a bit. This is a wonderful breakdown of someone who's made a video and then used AI to sort of enhance it. You can have a look at these links below. and this very sweet project on Instagram as well of embedding Asian faces and Asian women in European looking artworks. Quite interesting as well. So these are the few apps that are sort of popular: DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion. Currently, this landscape changes really fast every day. So DALL-E is of course owned by OpenAI, so we have very little control over what's happening in terms of once you put in the prompt, and also very limited knowledge of how it's working internally and how they update it, etc. This is of course a paid app, but you have a fair number of credits, and even to buy credits is not very expensive. And then you have Midjourney, which has a more fantasy oriented look and feel to it, and kind of like this concept art, digital art kind of look. This here you can see I added a search for mother, and it gave me these very fantastical looking images. And Stable Diffusion of course is the one that is open source of these, so you have options to use it paid with certain applications, but you can also very much set it up yourself on your own computers, on your own GPUs, all of that. They tend to be more photorealistic, but also you can play with stylistic ideas. So the first exercise was to open this sheet, figure out a simple prompt based on some guidelines. You can have a look at it in the once you open it, you'll see for those who are not able to join, you just make a list of a person whom you know, who with whom you have a relationship of care giving or care receiving. What is your relationship to them? And then two locations. The first where they are the most relaxed, and maybe the second where they are most tense. And these are two sentences that you need to make. So it will be, say, and of course a style. So like a painting sculpture that I want it to look like a metal sculpture built by whoever, or a oil pastel by whoever. So oil pastel, okay, oil painting. So you can see here some examples where it says, okay, 60s movie, still portrait of a woman who is elder sister, again the relationship, by Vito Conchi, in a mid, and then a detail in a mid-century bungalow in this XYZ, and then we just swapped out elder sister to of woman uh, to Agnes Wong. So there are some examples on the sheet which you can have a look at and build your own for your activity. Right. Mm. So after that, just we will try putting in the prompt in an app. The app which we will be using for this is, uh, sorry, it seems to have, um, I will just add the link here. There is an app which is currently under development called Gooey.ai, and they've been pretty sweet to let us use their app for free. They have a number of they are calling recipes to try, but the one that we will need currently for this section is compare text to image. I am going to copy it below this. So I'm just gonna use the old one here. Sorry Hugo, I'm using yours, but it's such a nice one. um, we'll use it here, and then once you hit submit, it'll try to build out that image, and they've been able to add three models to it: Stable Diffusion 2, which has come out very recently, Stable Diffusion 1.5, which is a little bit older here, and then DALL-E, which is ongoing. Yeah, there you go. So you can really see how that same prompt is showcased in such a different way in all of them, like in terms of the textures, in terms of the vantage point, and in terms of the look. So you can try these. If you feel, you can add them here to the bottom of the slides. Maybe write your name so we know. There it is. It's gone to the bottom of the page for some reason. Yeah. So prompting works very interestingly. It can be extremely subjective. It can give you some really interesting results just by changing a couple of words. Sometimes even just putting a full stop might change it, because it's not just about you describing, putting in a text and it just being flatly understood by the AI, but it also has some nuance to it. So, for example, if I put, say, a woman giving birth in an operation theater versus a Indian woman giving birth, versus not saying Indian but just saying Mrinalini, so automatically the skin tones change, or saying Alice, which is also again a different kind of a look to it, or saying Fatima, which gave me another kind of a look. So it is able, or saying David, which is almost going into like David Holy kind of a form. So there really is a lot that can be done just by tweaking one or two words here and there. And I think that's really where you can play with the edges of the data set and really get some interesting visuals out. Here there are three images: Indian woman giving birth in hospital on the left, woman giving birth in the hospital, and sorry, person giving birth, and a woman giving birth. So when I say woman, it automatically makes everyone, or at least the figures, start appearing to be whiter. Hospital starts to look more sterile and more western in that sense. And notionally, of course, it's doesn't seem so up close and personal like how perhaps these this Indian one has turned up. So this is the bit about the basics. Now I'm just going to show you a couple of images and the subsequent video about clip variation uh, and will help you with that. Just have a look at it, and later you'll see how it kind of works with your stable diffusion notebook. So clip variation basically allows for it to have a like a change in the detail. So this basically means, say suppose I ask an artist, can you please make me a painting of let's say a painting of uh, a portrait of me, and here's a picture. So first they will do a very light underdrawing with, say, like a light blue pencil, which is what they usually do, or some other kind of lighter toned pencil. Then they might ink it, and then there might be a point where you keep adding detail to the point where the image stops making sense, or gets garbled, or starts looking not like me but more just like a multiple number of lines of ink or paint on top of it. So clip just works like that. So you can start with a very low clip scale, which is about 4. This is about 7. You can see the details are coming in about 10 and about 12 or 14. This basically means that after this point, or maybe like say after 15 in the scale, which I'll come back to in the other video, you'll start seeing that the image gets more and more distorted. So this is something you can play with based on how you want to play with this idea artistically. Right, so at this point I'll just quickly show you some of the very nice examples of everyone who participated, and then I'll close this video and send you another video for how to do it with stable diffusion. So this is basically some of the images that came up. Here's Eddie's wonderful work, and some things that Praveen experimented with. Ishant, sorry, I can't remember who this was, but I think it was very nice to see that there was a cat there instead of a human for the relationship of caregiving. I think this was father. This was a bird. Very nice, I thought. And these are the participants from the first workshop, and some more stuff from workshop 2. A friend, a brother, a partner, I don't know this one, but yeah, some more. And some people had left a little bit earlier, but hopefully everyone enjoyed it. So I'm closing this out now, and I will send you another one just to focus on the stable diffusion collab notebook. If you want a little bit more on, for those who didn't attend the workshops, on how to use DALL-E or Midjourney specifically, this is not something I covered in detail in the workshop, but I can surely share some resources with you for that. Thank you.